In this video, I'll discuss common enabler dimensions. In COBIT 5, there are 7 different types of enablers. For example, there's the human resources side, such as people with the right skill sets that are assigned to the appropriate task. And then, of course, another enabler is information itself that could serve as input to a specific business process. All enablers, though, consist of 2 major areas. There is enabler dimensions, which we are talking about here, and then there's enabler performance management, which deals with ensuring that we have positive outcomes. Enabler dimensions deal with common, easy, and structured approaches to looking at the complicated interactions between many different enablers within an enterprise. For instance, consider the fact that the IT department might be locking down sensitive data that gets processed by employee smartphones. And think of how that might translate to increased efficiencies in a business process, because people can work with data such as customer order fulfillment, let's say, while they're on the go using their smartphone. So enablers have outcomes, and these outcomes provide value to the enterprise. Now, we'll only know if that's true if we're collecting metrics over time to really measure the performance. So, the purpose of enabler dimensions is to encourage positive enabler outcomes. The first enabler dimension is stakeholders. These are parties that have some kind of a role related to an enabler. Essentially, they have an interest in an enabler, or more specifically, they have an interest in some kind of information related to that enabler. Stakeholders could be internal, such as employees, or they could be external, such as regulating bodies or customers. But with all these different types of stakeholders, you're bound to have needs conflicts. For example, local versus international laws regarding where and how data is stored. And this is especially true if we're dealing with cloud-based storage. In the goals cascade with COBIT 5, stakeholder needs cascades down to enterprise IT-related goals. The next enabler dimension are the goals themselves. Now, goals are achieved when we have our enablers that are successful. And if that is true, then we are providing value given that specific IT solution that supports a business process. So performance needs to be measured before we can determine if this is happening or not. So an example might be having compliance with external IT laws. Maybe that's a goal. And that would provide value to the enterprise when we are compliant with those laws. There are a number of enabler goals categories, including intrinsic quality. Intrinsic quality really means